Welcome to another photo review video. Today I'm taking 20 images that you sent to the email that's in the video description. I'm going to give you a few tips, a little bit of a critique with stock photography in mind. This critique is going to be a little bit different because in the past few ones I've done, I don't know if you noticed, but my iPad froze and it did not do a screen record and I don't know what's going on. So I'm going to be using my laptop. I actually forgot I had a laptop. It's a little older, but let's see how it does. Let me know in the comments what you think and if you like this version better than the other. I like that I can put all the information here on this screen. So anyway, let's dive in here real quick. Screen record. All right, let's go to Lightroom full screen. Here we have all the information, Nikon D300, 18 to 35 millimeter lens. By the way, I keep forgetting to thank all the members. Thank you very much for all your support. You guys are awesome. Now, here's the first photo from a member. Donna, thanks for sending this image. It looks beautiful. Golden Gate Bridge, look at that. It just looks perfect. Great detail, even though it's a f/18. Usually f/18 makes images a little softer, depending on the lens and camera. This one looks pretty good. It looks very sharp. It looks beautiful. I'm gonna say 4 out of 5 in this photo, and that's because I know something you don't. See, the sky wasn't like this. That was the original sky. And it's totally okay to do this with stock photography. There's even software that can do it for you or help you do it. It's not AI. Maybe it does AI detecting the sky. And if you watch a video I made on Wednesday about rules for AI and editing, this is totally acceptable. If it's your own sky photo, you can replace that. You can put it anywhere you want and sell it as a stock photo. If you're using software, some of these software companies give you the license to sell that photo or to sell that sky, or they don't pursue you if you use that sky. So just check around and see which ones give you a license so that you can sell the image commercially. But this is beautiful. It's a great photo. I'm gonna say 4 out of 5. The reason for that is because the water doesn't match the blue in the sky. Now, I know I'm being a little picky, but that's the whole point of doing the review, right? And you can see the sky, the water has a little greenish tint, and that's because the sky was washed out. But if you just remove the green and make it a little bluer, I think it will balance each other out and look a little bit better, I think. But the composition, everything is great, great photo. It has everything it needs as a stock photo. It might look a little soft here, but that's just the depth, the distance. No, it's perfect. I like the composition, the leading lines, it's just a great angle. Great job, 4 out of 5. Next, okay, now we have fireworks, Nikon D3100, 55 to 200, f4. 20 seconds at f22, that seems excessive. I don't know if I'm missing something here, but I don't think that's 20 seconds unless there weren't no other booms. Usually for fireworks like this, I prefer using like 2 to 4 seconds, maybe 6 at most, because then the streaks are not like too much. And this one, maybe because the aperture was f22, so it's very dark and you only capture the light. When it fizzles out, you don't get it. It's a good photo. As a stock photo, I feel it doesn't have the commercial value because it's lacking people or a structure or something popular in the area, you know, whether it's a mountain or people looking at the fireworks. Those are great shots, by the way. I haven't had a chance to do one yet, but I've always wanted to include people in the foreground looking up. You're not gonna get it with 20 seconds. The settings, again, the photo is great. I'm gonna give this photo 4 out of 5 because it's a great, fantastic capture. I just don't know that it has what it takes to be a stock photo. The commercial value, I feel it's lacking, and that's based on my experience. Everything I do like that on a black background doesn't seem to sell as much. There's a red dot here that could be removed. I don't know if that's part of the fireworks or a dead pixel in your camera, so check that out. Good job. Next. Okay, now we have a very blue and blown out image here. The trail, that looks wrong time of day for this one. Oh, okay, camera settings are way off. 1600th of a second at f13, ISO 1600. You can see there's a lot of noise here on the water, and that's because the camera can't handle those 1600 ISOs. You have plenty of light to bring that down, 1600. If you cut your shutter speed in half at 800, that's 800 of ISO. Cut it to 400, now you're 400 ISO. So you can really bring that down and still get a good image. 2 out of 5. Camera settings are a bit off, and I mean the rest is fine. The composition's good, the lines, it's just the wrong time of day. It's a little blown out here in the dirt road and stuff. If it wasn't the camera settings, I'd give it a 4 out of 5 because it's good. You know, lines in the middle, leading lines, the water, the ocean, the road. It's good. It might be the wrong time of day because you have some distracting dark shadows here at the bottom, and it's just a little bright to the dark. I mean, they are complementary colors, but as a stock photo, it's not going to get accepted because of the quality, the technical issues here, and that's all due to your camera settings. So please pay attention to your settings. Shoot intentionally. 1600 of a second is way too fast for something like this, unless you're like flying in a squirrel suit or something. But yeah, 2 out of 5. Next. Okay, smoke. Colorful smoke. I've actually sold similar images to this one, but this one, again, you can see a lot of noise in the smoke, and I believe that is just post-processing. Maybe when you brought it out, it just added a little bit too much, or it has clarity and texture added, which is what's creating this grain. Again, I don't think this is going to get accepted because of quality issues. The settings are fine, 200th of a second, f11 at 100, but I just think it might have been a dark image and you recovered the lights and shadows. There's a lot of stuff missing here. The highlights are blown out, and then the shadows are very grainy, so this is not going to get accepted. Nice try, but again, 2 out of 5. Good capture. Just when you're getting close, you see all that noise and details there, that the missing details here in the highlights, which is not going to get accepted. Next. Cool, a wooden toy airplane, ISO 400, 500th of a second. It missed focus. It's not really focused anywhere. It's f2.8. Again, this one's gonna be a 1 out of 5 because you can't really use it for anything. It's a great concept, great idea. Wooden toys like that, the product, that's awesome. That would be a good stock photo, especially on a cleaner, simple background. But as it is, it's not going to get accepted because it doesn't have focus. I think it focused behind that propeller, or maybe here on the wing. See, it just doesn't really have that depth of field. And I know you were trying to blur the background because it's distracting, but when your main subject doesn't have focus, or you can't tell where the focus is, it's not going to be a good photo. But as a stock photo, it's not going to work as it is. Next. Okay, now we have a cup of coffee. It says it's coffee time, a blend. That looks good. I like the steam. It looks pretty good. I think the steam was added, but it's good. It's done very well. The reflection, the cup's good. I'm gonna give this one 5 out of 5. I don't know if you can sell this commercially because of the drawings and the patterns and logos that it has. Even though it doesn't have a brand name, somebody created this, and I'm not sure if you can sell it commercially. The steam, you might add a little bit more or something. It just looks kind of like it's fizzling out. It needs a little bit more. It looks like smoke instead of steam. But it's fine. I'm still going to give 5 out of 5. It's got a good time. 1.3 seconds at f11. So yeah, the steam was definitely added. Otherwise, it would just be wispy and not frozen like that. So yeah, good job on this one. Nice capture. Next. Okay, now we have a flower. Oh, man. Okay, I don't have settings on this one. I don't have anything. But you can see what happened here. You got the flower and a beautiful reflection, and you cut the reflection and left nothing on top. You might be looking for negative space for text or something, but it's on black. You can extend that easily. So this, I'm going to say 1 out of 5. The composition's off. You should have left the whole reflection. I don't have camera settings, and I can't tell if it's noisy or not. But it almost looks like it missed focus a little bit. I don't know. It's a great capture. I just wish I would have more of that reflection. That would fill the frame with the image instead of the negative space. Besides that, flowers don't sell as much anymore. It's a saturated market, and you're not going to be selling as many as we all want to sell in stocks. Next, we have a landscape. Do we have any camera settings? Nikon D7100. Okay, that's not bad for hand holding. That looks good. It looks noisy. It looks very grainy. I don't know if it was lifting the shadows, but it's a great autumn photo. It looks good. I just don't know what I'm looking at. Beautiful landscapes don't always sell as stock photos. You need a concept, you need an idea, somehow that the photo can be used commercially. Sometimes landscapes do sell, but not that often. This one could benefit from a little bit of contrast. See how that just pops? When you're looking at it in a grid, a little bit of that's all I did was contrast, and now it pops. Let's go to before and after. There you go. Before, literally just sliding contrast. This one I'm gonna say 3 out of 5. It's a good capture. It might benefit from a little bit of noise reduction. I don't know if it was raining or if it's just grainy. I can't tell. ISO 400, Nikon D7100. I'm not familiar with that model. It might just be the ISO 400. Or lifting the shadows that created that. But just remember, for stock photos, make them pop, make them look like, wow, you know, like you want to be there. And that's, this looks pretty. It just doesn't have a location. It doesn't tell me there's a broken down house here in the corner. So 3 out of 5. Good photo. It just needs a little bit more processing. I'm assuming the ISO 400 was because you were hand holding with a 100 millimeters and 105. So you do need a little bit of faster shutter speed. So nice job here. Just look for commercial value. This one, I feel like it's lacking commercial value. Let's go to the next one. Okay, now we have a duck. Camera settings are off. The duck is not moving, and we have 1/1600th of a second. When I get close, it's got good focus. It looks fine. The ISO, you can see the background has a little bit of noise. It's a Canon 2000D. I think that's a Rebel. Let me hide this. A 2000D, it's a Rebel. They don't handle very well ISO 200 might be the max, but you can see the noise in the background pixelation. It might get rejected because of that. I know stock photography is very technical. You got to keep in mind. And your shutter speed at 1600. You don't have. You can go to 800 at 200 of ISO. Again, keep in mind your camera settings and be intentional with them. It looks good. It's a duck. It doesn't have commercial value. The focus is good. Composition might be a little bit off because it's missing the bottom of the duck. So, you know, you're cutting your subject. Even though you have some lines and stuff, I'm gonna say 1 out of 5. It doesn't really have what it takes to be a commercial photo. Your camera settings are off and your composition is off. So that lost some points there. Next. Okay, these are Airpods, I guess. Good camera settings, everything looks pretty good. There's some scratches on the product. If you're gonna be doing product shoots, remember to clean your products, even if it's in post. See these scratches that it has? There's a dot there and there's some stuff over here. If you clean that up in post, then it'll look new, and that's what people wanna look at. You don't wanna use something that's gonna have stains or spots or stuff on it. The other thing is to sell it as you use it. I mean, here you can tell it's on the background. The background also has things there that shouldn't be there. And it's a little bit wrinkled when you go towards the back. So remember to smooth out your surfaces, clean your background, clean your product, and then take a product photo, but then also show somebody using it, wearing the thingies or talking on the phone with that on or something like that. That's gonna be a lot more commercial than just the item. And if you have a collection, the item and people using them, then chances are you can sell a lot more to the same buyer. As it is, I'm gonna say 3 out of 5. Well executed or good idea. You just remember the background and to clean up your product. Camera settings are fine. Next. Okay, now we have, okay, that's the whole photo, I'm guessing. Where's my window here? Okay. Oh, did I screw up with the duck? Let's go back to the duck. Okay, never mind the duck. The duck did have a full, I was zoomed in, it was cropped. And the duck did have the whole thing, so that gave it 1 more point. Let's go to 3 out of 5. Now the lines frame it a little bit nicer. Even though he's in the middle, you're almost framing it with the brick, but it still doesn't have what it takes to be commercial. So I'm gonna go up a point to 3 out of 5. Next, okay, here we have this medicine cabinet looking thing. And it's fine, it's a good stock photo. I think this has the commercial value it needs. Camera settings are fine, f11, 1.3, using a tripod with low light. The background looks a lot nicer here. There's nothing identifiable, so that's a perfect stock photo. Again, if you could show somebody holding them or handling a pill missing from one of those containers, maybe a few missing, pill popping problem, I don't know, something like that. Great concept with the logos, everything. Yeah, 5 out of 5 for this one. Great job. Let me know if you've sold it, I'm curious. Okay, now we have a wallet. Good camera settings, that looks fine. Good focus, everything's good. I just don't see the commercial value. That line, the seamless background, you know, either come up or down so you don't see that. Maybe opening the wallet, like try to find a concept. Somebody holding something it's gonna be a tough sell. But if you open it up and it has a sticker that says IOU, or if you're looking through fake bills, or just, I have one that I did, like, you know, dust. That one sells occasionally, or I wrote IOU, that one also sells. It was a different wallet, so that's open to whoever. You just have to use concepts or make it a creative way to try to sell a product or sell an idea or give people a laugh or something. This one, as a photograph, is fine. I don't like that it's cutting the hand up top and there's so much gray at the bottom. So lifting the camera up and showing more of that, or lifting the camera and shooting down. Opening the wallet, I think, would be a little bit better. It's fine. I'm going to say 3 out of 5 just because of the composition, because it's copying that. And then that dark line, the seam in the back, is a little distracting for me. Next. Okay, this one's perfect. It looks great. Camera settings are good. F9, 200, 1.6, 90D. It's like a whole tea coffee service. A little steam will be nice. You might have to Photoshop that. You know, throw them in the microwave, get the steam, and then come back. Usually to get the steam, you got to light it from behind. And you might have to do a couple of pictures and do a composite. So if you put a light in the background, shooting this way, capture the steam, and then reshape the lights to your subject. But this looks very good. This photo has awesome balance. If you look at the teacups, they're facing the right way. The spoons are facing upward like that. It's just great balance in this photo. Very well done. Very classy. I like it. 5 out of 5. It's a good photo. Okay, now we have a travel photo. It looks like a snapshot. I'm gonna give this one, let's say 2 out of 5. It's a good editorial, but it wasn't really composed. You got people walking in and out, like on the edges, that are a little distracting. And there's a lot of sky and not so much on what's happening. If we zoom in, that's a little much like that. I think that would be a stronger composition, because it's about what's happening, not about the whole area. There's a whole bunch of people here, maybe travel guide showing everybody what this statue is, and I think that's stronger than the wide angle. It just I see too much sky and not enough in the attention on what's happening. And an editorial image is about what's happening. And then this guy here in the corner is a little distracting, and so are these two on the other corner. So if you zoom in a little bit, get a little closer, or just wait for them to be out of the picture, I think it would have been a lot better. Next. Okay, similar image. Again, it looks like a snapshot. I think it was the same camera. Yep. Now we have a different lens, 55-200, but there's too much attention up to the tree that's dark and not enough on the people, and that's where the shot is. I don't know where the focus is. Focus is on these guys here in their backs, not even on, and yeah, you missed the focus, because you should be somebody's expression. Street photography is about what's happening, or editorial photography would be a what's happening, and the focus is on the guys that are not even looking at the camera, so that's tough. Composition's off because that tree is very dark and distracting. If you come lower or zoom in a little more, because you were only at 55, you would show more about the area and the people, and not so much, or not more of the area. You're going to show less if you zoom in, but it'll be more specific about that part right here, let's say. See, even something like that already looks a little, whoa, zoom in. Yeah, even something like that already looks a little better. Just bring the camera down and zoom in and show the people, or the stores, storefronts, or something where the people are walking and looking at things. But as it is, I just feel it doesn't have the commercial value or the composition required for a stock photo. So let's go with 2 out of 5. Okay, now we have an old photo of a cat. This was not going to do it for stock. The reason I included this photo is because I do have a photo that I did with a cat like this years ago. Princess Buttercup, and we sell that photo. I sell that photo all the time. She was Bambi's best friend, and I did it. It was a close-up. I used to flash to bounce it off the ceiling, and I got her face close-up. And every Halloween, I sell that photo over and over and over again. So photos of your pets do sell if you find the concept. This one's it's not a stock photo. It's not gonna do well. I just wanted to include that for that reason. Next. Okay, this is another old image, but it missed focus. It doesn't have what it takes. It doesn't have the focus. It doesn't have the concept. It's a good idea, and if you do have a garden and you have fruits and veggies, that could work, but this is not gonna work. Okay, now we have some images. There we go. That looks like wind farm somewhere. Beautiful sunset. It looks good. The colors are nice. These bushes here in the front might be a little distracting. I don't know if you can get closer and blur them a little bit, but that's good. That's a good landscape. I'm gonna say 4 out of 5. The clouds do look like they were enhanced. Maybe not. Huh. I don't see where the focus is. Huh. Am I very zoomed in? Let's go to 1:1. So see, this is 1:1, and it doesn't look like it's sharp. I don't think that photo is gonna get accepted. All right, so let's go to 3 out of 5. Without focus, it's not gonna get accepted, and it looks a little noisy, and I don't think that's the ISO. I think that's just lack of focus, lack of sharpness. It might have tried to focus here in the front, but that's interesting. All right, next. Okay, here we have a church somewhere. Oh, you almost cut the thing off. Okay, it's not. It's still there. The sky looks a little bit too blue compared to the rest of the scene. That might be trying to match the colors or add whatever dimension to it, but I just don't see it. It looks way too dark. You can see the clouds underneath are not blue, and then the sky is, so that's a little bit heavy in the processing. Maybe bring those down. Which with Lightroom, again, this is an old version of Lightroom, but see, if you bring that down, maybe even darken it, it looks okay. See, it was enhanced. I could see the ring around the tower, but if you bring it down a little bit, I think the blue is a bit too distracting. It's a good image, lifestyle, somebody, where's the focus? See, the focus is not on the guy. Focus on the person that's here waiting for the church. I think that would be a much more commercial image. As it is, I'm gonna say 3 out of 5. It just needs a little bit of help. I think focusing on the person where the interest is gonna give you more commercial value. The church is beautiful, but the person that's sitting there looking at the image is the one telling the story. And that's where the focus should be. Okay, next. Okay, now we have that's interesting. Old tools, a good focus, ISO 4000. Okay, this must have been recovered in Lightroom, because there's no way that's ISO 4000. Looks like it was very dark. The noise is gone, but so is some of the details. So this was definitely used Lightroom denoise. It looks fine. I just don't see the concept. There's some books, some old stuff. It's a good photo. There's a couple distracting, whatever, that's fine. It's a good photo. I just don't know what the concept is. I don't know what you're selling. Try it for stock and see how it goes. It just usually things that sell have a specific concept or selling something. Remember, stock is commercial. As far as a photograph is great. I'm gonna go with 4 out of 5. It's a little washed out. That might just be you see a little contrast brings that up. That might just be your style. I'm gonna leave it alone. 4 out of 5 as a photograph. I just don't know that it has what it takes for a stock photo. Next, we got a building, the lines, everything looks perfect. Yeah, it looks very good. You get the skies reflecting, the sky reflected off the building. Everything looks great. 5 out of 5. It's in focus. It's sharp. ISO 140, 500 of a second, f8. It's got detail in the corners. That's usually where they miss. The upper corner might be a little out of focus, but that's fine. That's just your distance. Yeah, it looks good. I'm going with 5 out of 5. Maybe add a little contrast just to make the sky pop a little bit. But it has everything it takes to be a stock photo. Next. Is that it? All right, so that was it. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know what you thought about the laptop instead of the iPad. I like this because it gives me the camera details, so I don't have to type it. And the only thing is, again, the resolution. I don't know how this is going to work once I process it in 4K. But please let me know what you think. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. Save this as review.